Will Paul George come to the Houston Rockets? And should the Rockets trade Alperen Sengun for Brandon Ingram? The hot stove is getting hotter and the NBA draft is next week. Let's talk about it. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Summit State of Mind, presented to you by the Apollo Podcast Network and powered by Big City Wings. In this edition of the Summit, we're going to discuss the possibility of Paul George coming to Houston, the rumored proposed trade of Brandon Ingram for Alperen Sengun, and what the Rockets are planning to do with their third overall pick. If you look window box to my right, got, of course, my brother, the GM Justin, as always, my co-host. But we have a very special guest on the Summit today for the very first time. Co-host of the Zero Gravity podcast, Apollo's official NBA podcast, along with Stoney, fan of second place losers, Dallas Mavericks. I had to do that one time. Josh, welcome to the Summit, baby. Let's go.
Thank you all. Thank you all. I cannot wait to just talk ball, talk shop. This is why I'm here. This is my magnum opus, and I'm so excited. Let's rock.
Magnum opus. Nice.
Yeah.
I did not.
I have a deep admiration and respect for both of you.
I appreciate that.
I love it. I love
Do
it,
you
guys.
really? Well, dude, I have a deep admiration, respect of your knowledge. Jeez, you got some, dude. You dropped some good points on the shows.
Thank you.
Dude, it's really good stuff. So we're gonna bring Josh's knowledge now to the Summit. Because
Salute.
you are a Rockets fan, right?
I am.
He is a Rockets fan. He does talk overall NBA, and be sure to check them out once again. Zero Gravity Podcast, official NBA podcast for Apollo. But he's here to talk about his team. We're here to talk about the Rockets. There's a lot happening right now. Let's get into it right now. The rumors are swirling. Now,
It's
granted,
rampant.
this rumor in particular doesn't have anything to do with the Rockets, but you never know. So let's Ron Burgundy said, let's dabble. Let's dabble slightly.
I'm all about
Let's
it.
dabble
the
slightly.
Burgundyisms. I'm with it.
All right, so let's discuss it. So Paul George and the possibility of Paul George leaving the Clippers, and we're going to talk about this quote brought to us by Brian Windhorst. Clippers have not been willing to meet Paul George's asking price. He remains unsigned. You can't just look at teams with salary cap space. If Paul George changes teams, it's very likely going to be a situation where he opts into his contract and he requests a trade. First thing I think of out of the gate, Chris Paul in 2017.
Yep.
Where the possibility of an opt-in and a trade. Now, granted, Paul George is going to get to probably pick where he wants to go, and Clippers are going to try to make the man happy and try to get him to where he wants to go to succeed. Josh, question over to you first. So you are the NBA guy. So at the very least, let's talk about it right now. Paul George, what is the possibility of Paul George coming to Houston with relationships with Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun? Had him on a show, Podcast P. What's your overall thoughts about a Paul George possibly coming to Houston?
An immediate knee-jerk reaction is
yes.
There's no possible way. My immediate fantasy land reaction is, this might be able to. We can make this happen. I don't know or feel anything crazy about Paul George as a whole, especially right now. I don't know why in my brain it feels like this has San Antonio written all over it, and I hate to say it. I don't know why. It just immediately. I think that a Keldon Johnson or a Devin Vassell, maybe in a first sign and trade deal situation. That's kind of what what brings my brain into it.
Right.
When I think of a sign and trade or just an overall contract, aren't we in cap space hell? Or we're looming towards cap space hell.
Where are we at right now, Justin?
So we're going to operate over the cap going into the
not
ideal.
ideal.
That's
because we owe $40 million. We owe $40 million to FVV.
Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, another 20 to Dylan. So there's plenty of money on the roster that's being paid out to current players on the roster. But the thing about it is that when you're operating over the cap, that's the easy way for Paul George to go where he wants to go, because he's not likely to go to a team with cap room unless he goes to Philly, right? And from what we've listened to, or what I've listened to on other podcasts, is that the heat on Paul George to Philly is kind of cooled down a little bit, to where there's not as much, I
heard the same thing.
Sound going there. I don't know exactly what the team he could be targeting. I feel like the Eastern Conference is ideal. You did hear Doc Rivers say that They're going to shake up the foundation in Milwaukee. That doesn't include Damian nor Giannis. So maybe Milwaukee's going to be involved
Chris
in
Middleton,
that.
you are a Clipper.
Goodbye, Chris Middleton.
I know.
You are a
Goodbye,
Clipper.
Malik Beasley. That is hilarious to me because the foundation has already been shaken up when they fired Coach Griffin halfway into the season when they were what were they, 25-10?
Yeah,
something ridiculous like that.
Great record.
If Paul George goes to Milwaukee and Milwaukee can't make it out of the Eastern Conference Finals, some things are so funny, but this is just levels ahead of any type of comedy that my brain could even fathom. So I just love the idea of Paul George going to the East, just sitting there for a season or 2 or 3 or 4, however long he wants to be there, and just go back to the semifinals or the conference finals and just stay there. You know,
Right.
we need playoff mainstays, and I feel like playoff mainstays happen more in the East, obviously, because I feel like
the variance
the East
isn't
is
really
bad.
there.
The East, obviously, we know the East is bad, right?
Mhm.
But I just love seeing. Maybe I'm a hater. I'm a hate watcher. I love seeing people lose. People that are in much better positions than I will ever even fathom in my lifetime, making a bajillion times more money in my lifetime than I could ever fathom. I love seeing people lose sometimes, and especially it just feels even better with the East. I don't know why I like to root for the West even when the Rockets aren't in it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like because I
think
this
it's a
goes back.
bias from
Yeah,
what we've
exactly.
grown up
This
with.
this goes back to even the Astros pre-2013, where I was just like, oh man, I love the National League. This rocks. Barry Bonds, like all these guys who would just ball out.
Right.
And I feel like
Right.
the Western Conference in a way is like the National League in a way where you just have all these it's a guy's guy conference.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't know if Paul George fits that agenda much anymore. I don't know if it's because
Yeah.
he's getting older. I don't know what the situation is.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I don't see him fitting anywhere in the West. It has to be Milwaukee, maybe San Antonio. I like San Antonio for
It makes
this
sense.
is and let me preface it with this. The only Western team that I would like to see him in is San Antonio, and that's strictly if they do not get Trae Young. So if they strike out on Trae Young, or if the Hawks are asking too much, whatever the situation may be, Paul George is a great number 2 to Victor Wembanyama, and Trae Jones still
Well,
healthy.
they definitely need.
I'm naming names.
Probably,
here.
yeah.
I'm just naming names.
I feel like they need
Yeah,
to vet.
honestly,
They need
you know,
to
I
vet
can't say it with
leadership, in
confidence.
my opinion. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that makes sense. I mean, it's just kind of like he's kind of someone that's been around the block. He understands what's
Yes.
going down, and that's a good guy to lead the way with. Pops at the helm, and Wemby's your guy. So,
But I want him to
see
play
it.
for Houston. I don't care.
Okay,
I mean,
no.
I'm not
Let's delve
like,
back into Houston.
yeah.
Let's delve back into Houston strictly for the point that you wanted to bring up. What could we give? How would this work? Why don't you tell us how this would work? Because I have no idea.
You're talking about like trade wise or
yeah,
like how
sure,
it would
sure.
work?
Yeah.
Give me 2 names and some picks, or give me a dollar amount that you would sign Paul George for. How would this work? Would Tillman Fertitta even be willing to go in the luxury tax?
I think
I
he
don't
would
know.
take I would think he would take a 1-year re-sign. I think he'll probably take a 1+1 on a player
You think
option.
so?
Sure.
I think he'll do a 1+1 on a player option. It's Houston, so it's a team that's not championship caliber, but he wants to play with the young guys. He wants to, let's say he wants to mentor the young guys. So he wants to like come onto this team. So the pick that we would the trade package that we would obviously trade would have to be Dylan Brooks, which would be
Money.
the $20+ million contract.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You probably sweeten it by having who's the center? The Jock
Landon?
Londale. You have him opt in, trade him as well, just to match salary. Just
Yeah,
as
no, that
salary
is true.
filler,
That
as the
is true.
salary filler alone, and then you can give him like a first-round pick.
Because based
That's
on
fine.
talent, this
Yeah.
is not. This
No,
trade
no.
would not
No,
work.
no, it's not. But remember, think
But
about
for
it like
salary,
this:
yes.
it is a sign and trade. And if Clippers are trying to make Paul George happy, Paul George says, "I want to come to Houston." Because let's think about it:
Yeah.
Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell did not equal Chris Paul, but
Yeah, that's
they
fair.
made the trade anyways
true.
because they had to make the salary work.
Right.
So
That's true.
Paul George can come in immediately. So that's the package that I would center it around just to give him something and make that salary work, because it's not about what they want. It's about what Paul George wants, they're just going to take whatever Rockets give him. So if that's what the Rockets give him on the sign and trade, bring him to Houston, let him tutor the youth, let him tutor Jabari Smith Jr.
There it is. I like that.
Oh, yeah. You
I
already
like
knew
that.
what the agenda was going to be. So he's going to tutor Jabari Smith Jr. into becoming the ultimate two-way monster that I've dreamt of him to be.
Yes.
And then
yes.
And then hopefully, you take him along with Fred VanVleet And I think that you bring someone like that in, you automatically catapult yourself to possibly 50-plus wins. I think you get to that point. I think Paul George is that good.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I think he's that good. I think he provides so much for the team. I think he provides so much of this veteran leadership of playoff experience that Fred VanVleet already has, and he can just add on to it. I think that is what makes him a glove-like fit for the Rockets. Now, granted, this is all like no rumors. I don't have sources.
No one is saying this.
Yeah, I am
one.
not saying this whatsoever. There's no source behind it. But that's pretty much just my thoughts on like bringing Paul George to Houston. I love y'all's thoughts about the idea, and you're right. Most likely, it is not going to happen. He's gonna ring Chase. It's the most likely scenario.
He's not that old yet. Give the guy like 3 more years, and then he'll start.
I still think
chasing.
he's gonna. No, I think he's gonna go to a team that is viable to win a championship.
Sure,
like, he's gonna
which completely makes sense.
Yeah.
But the guy can still give you 20 a night on.
Oh
pretty
no,
efficient
he could
shooting.
still. Yeah,
like,
but
he's a great player.
He's gonna want to go to a team that is already on the cusp.
He's not gonna
title.
David West it. I think David West, the modern ring chase.
No. Yeah, he's not
that's
gonna
like
go
the poster child,
right?
And good for him.
No,
it worked.
And that's how you know we pivoted to a David West conversation, guys. Let's go ahead and move on right now. Obviously, the stove continues to get hot. Quoting as a quote that was brought to us by Kelly Eco, the Pelicans are dangling Ingram in trade talks, and in one iteration, a hypothetical Ingram for Alperen Sengun swap was mentioned and discussed, but the Rockets have no interest. Team sources have stated. Now, okay. Let me just preface it by saying 2 things. All right, and before I hand the keys off to y'all. 1, I love Alperen Sengun. Okay, let's put that out there. I think he's a stud. I think he's one of the best young players that's coming up. I think he's still one of the most underrated players in the NBA from an outset. Houston, obviously, he's very polarizing to a degree, but for the most part, beloved. But on the outset of the entire NBA landscape, I don't think he's that respected or even known to a degree. I think hoop heads still don't have him like as much in their sights. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, I fucking love Brandon Ingram's game. I did. I don't think he's a high, and we talked about this last episode. I don't think he's a high percentage guy. So, putting that before y'all, a trade was being mentioned straight up.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram.
Wild.
For Alperen Sengun. GM, I'll pop it over to you first. With the Rockets declining this trade and showing no interest whatsoever, what did you think about it?
That's a wild take. I mean, it's
that's a wild take.
Wild. Like I can see why they would dangle. I mean, come on now. Like they want to bring in a player that's young, potential superstardom next to a Zion Williamson. I get it, but Zion and LP together, man, that paint will be clogged,
cast.
Brother. Wow.
The walking cast that is Zion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's just to me. It's kind of crazy. It's a little daring on their end to kind of say, but hey, man, Joe Morey would call Mark Cuban every year to ask for Dirk Nowitzki. He did it all the time, so I get it. That deal would definitely not work. Brandon Ingram, he was someone that was seen as a guy that could potentially be a number 1 guy when he was in LA and when he first got traded to New Orleans. But what's panned out is not revisionist history. Unfortunately, his defense has stayed mediocre. He can't really be the go-to guy. Obviously, he was dependent on in the playoffs when Zion went down. He wasn't exactly the top guy. Neither was CJ. It's not in their DNA. Ingram's a good number 2, and New Orleans is looking for a number 1. Hence LP. Exactly. I get it because he is the number 1 option on the Rockets. A lot of Rockets fans were angry. They didn't like hearing it. I mean, all Kelly Eco is doing is reporting the news, guys.
He's just giving you the facts.
I get it, but
and I like that they at least brought it up and they at least said it.
It's something that I feel like
it's official that it was like at least brought to the table.
I'm all about the tidbits, man. give me the tidbits, guys. Whether it's good news or bad.
Please be careful when saying tidbits too. No. Make sure we say TID.
Tidbits.
There it is.
There you go.
Yeah. That can go south.
Watch the YouTube.
That can go south of heaven so fast.
Ooh. Thank you, Damian Priest. I'm definitely not going to go
Thank you for catching it. Oh, man. Thank you for catching the alley-oop.
I got you. But, I mean, overall, that I get it from New Orleans. Houston obviously is going to turn it down. You're not trading Alperen Sengun for a player of Brandon Ingram's. You would probably only trade LP for like 2 or 3 players in this league currently. And that's about it, honestly. LP's he's got the future superstar potential going in there for him. So, I mean, you can't trade those players on a rookie contract. That's just not how it works in the league. That's like basically if the Texans were to trade CJ Stroud. It just doesn't make sense. You have him at the cheapest you can potentially have him for the next year before you have to really extend him. So things are definitely moving, but we just got to wait and see. Yeah. I don't know.
That's why he got laughed at. Like, that's why they got laughed. Like, they got laughed off the floor, like, in terms of, like, bringing that to the table. Josh, over to you right now. What are your thoughts on that? The idea. I'm curious.
It would take God to come down onto this earth, whatever God you believe in. If you don't believe in God, a supernatural event, something would have to happen for our brains to be rewired to believe that Brandon Ingram is okay enough to trade away or trade for Alperen Sengun. It would have to be Brandon Ingram plus 4 first-round picks. It would have to be Brandon Ingram plus
Ingram and Zion.
Yeah, it would have to be something insane. Yeah. And immediately whenever I think of especially the New Orleans Pelicans, if you are on a team with CJ McCollum, I immediately don't trust you. And I don't want Brandon Ingram on my team in any regard. Yeah. Because like we were talking about the Paul George situation, okay, let's say we get to 50 wins next year if we get Paul George and maybe one other piece, or we get rid of a piece and add more, anything like that. This team is already so young and talented enough that we made it to 500 last year. People forget that we were, 7 games under 500 with like 20 to go or something like that?
Yeah. It was tacked off an 11 or 12 game win streak.
It was bad, guys. Yeah. So immediately, I already think this team can get to 46 next year. If we add any other kind of immediate
even
offensive,
as is, that's a crazy part.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Immediately, if you add another offensive tool, sure, you can squeeze 2 or 3 more wins out of it. But why sacrifice everything that you've done so far to literally trade for someone that can set your team back years if things don't work out? Mm-hmm. And like we were talking about with like I've been thinking, I guess, with Raphael Stone, people have been giving him kind of a short leash. And I think that it's important to know that things take a lot of time to figure out. And if Raphael Stone ends up, and we'll get into this in a minute, if we end up going something crazy, if we end up doing something crazy in the draft, and let's say by the end of next year we're at 46, 47 wins, we're at a standalone spot in the playoffs, let's say 1 through 7. Take the keys and drive, buddy. You got it. Go as far. Drive that car as much as you want. I'll give you my gas card. You got it. And I think that in overall, especially in my lifetime too, we've never seen the Rockets tank this badly. Sure, 2002 to 2004 when we had Steve Franchise and Coutinho Mobley and the beginning of Yao Ming. Sure. Even with the Kevin Martin years, we've never seen anything this bad.
No,
so
not in terms of tanking.
I know that we're so pressed and ready, and winning is obviously very important, just like it is for any other team. Well, some teams, most teams.
Teams. I was like, let's
most teams.
Let's pump the brakes slightly.
But as for right now, I mean, I think the Rockets are in a great position as is. We could stand put this offseason and just get either the 3rd pick or trade back or trade up. And again, we'll get into this in a second. But I'm more than happy with the results that what we've seen so far in year 3 of the official rebuild. And Paul George or Brandon Ingram being added to the situation, what are we doing? We're shooting ourselves in the foot. You know what I mean?
Especially if you're trading assets away.
Exactly. And they would want, if they don't want Alperen Sengun, they would want Jabari Smith. They would want Amen Thompson. They would want Cam Whitmore.
They're going to want someone from the 6.
Stick with it, folks.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when, like we were talking about with the rookie contract, Alperen Sengun being traded on a rookie contract is the same thing that the Sacramento Kings did with Tyrese Halliburton.
Yep.
Immediately giving up on a guy with just completely shooting his confidence out, and man.
And now he's
now I'm moving.
Yeah, now he's one of the best point guards. But I know what you mean.
Point stands. There would be a lot of major issues, major setbacks if we give a lot to get a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely, and I wouldn't want that. Like, personally for me, when I saw that trade on the table, I was like, no. Like, as much, and I'm even like a Brandon Ingram fan. Like, I like Brandon Ingram, but I saw that deal and I was like, nah. No. Sorry.
I will. Pass. No, hard for pass. Sure. I will miss those green Skull jerseys. they had this year. I think
Which
they
ones?
wore them once during the playoffs and throughout the season. It was like almost a Mardi Gras-esque. There was like a purple / black
Right,
base
okay, yeah,
with
I
a
remember.
green outline skull. That shit rocked. And I hate that Nike is doing City Edition jerseys every year because some things
'cause
need to
they're
be
all-
mainstays.
they're
They need to
they
be
keep changing
mainstays.
it.
They need to. Whatever happened to the Reebok jerseys, man? Whatever happened to the Mellow jerseys? Whatever happened to the AI jerseys, man? We need mainstay jerseys back. That's why quarterback jerseys are so popular because they stay
Right.
on the teams for a long time.
That's true.
That's
And
true. That's
basketball
true, yeah.
jerseys are so it's ebbs and flows. I need good jerseys back.
You heard it. Bring back Reebok.
Bring back Reebok right now.
Bring back Reebok. Back to prominence, Reebok. Come on. Now they're doing a deal with AEW. That's a whole nother story. But let's go ahead and move on right now. Let's talk about it. Look, guys, we are so recording this on a Saturday. By the way, happy 30th anniversary to the Houston Rockets on their 1994 championship. 30 years. By this time next year, it would be 31 years. That'd be about the same age as Akeem Olajuwon is when he won the NBA championship.
Wild.
He was 31.
Oh.
So that's where
man.
we are. This is this anniversary is at the age of a prime Akeem Olajuwon. That's crazy to think about. So
Wild.
shout outs to y'all one time. Big fans of the Rockets, obviously for the 30th anniversary. So recording this on Saturday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're 4 days from I know math. We're 4 days from the NBA draft. There's a lot of rumors swirling.
Yeah.
Rockets could trade back. Rockets could trade out. Rockets could pick this guy, or this guy. This player could drop. There's so much moving parts in the most non-steady top 5 picks of the NBA draft in years.
Yes.
So with all of this, making place for great cinema on Wednesday. I think there's going to be great, great like news and like reactions. I think there's going to be some bombs dropped.
Yes.
I think, because there's nothing is set in stone. That's why I kind of I don't love it, yet I kind of do love it. In terms of what Josh was saying, he kind of wants to see some chaos. He wants to see some teams lose. I want to see some chaos. Let's go see some chaos. So this is for the chaos right now. Let's go ahead and talk about it. This Wednesday, NBA draft, 4 days away. Josh, hands on the table. It's going to go to both of y'all. What are the Rockets going to do Wednesday night at 7 p.m.? Draft starts, go. What are the Rockets
This is
doing?
such a loaded question. All right, I'm on the clock. I have 5 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, 5 minutes. So it's like, and go.
Immediately, my immediate reaction is just smoke screen.
Right.
If Klingon goes number 1, I'll be so happy with that because odds are Sar will fall to number 3.
That's insane. Think about it.
If we can get Reed Shepherd, a guy who, yes, he's undersized and arguably underutilized because he came off the bench in college. What did he shoot? 52% from 3 last year.
He's insane.
If we can get a guy like that, I would love it. I don't know exactly in my brain. I think that we're good with forwards and guards, but there's not much else you can work with there. You gotta throw somebody in, and
Right.
I don't want. And we're in such a. This is almost like you've picked way too many apples. Now let's all eat. So you have a 10-man rotation of pretty much just young guys besides Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. Where if we draft a number 3 guy, where is that going to fit in the rotation?
Yeah.
We could
true.
trade back and get that kid from Tennessee, Dalton. I forgot his last
Dalton
name.
Yeah.
Khalil Ware.
His last name being Net. That rocks. Basketball player. That rocks.
Spelled with a K.
That's a
Love
bucket,
it.
baby.
So
Love
sick,
it.
dude. We
Nothing but net.
I was just there you go. Put that
Like,
on a shirt. Put it on a
Dude,
shirt.
yeah, put it on a shirt, man. I can already see Jonathan Sanford out of the gate. He's like, oh, what is it? What's his name? What is it? Stanford? What is his name? Dalton Net. Nothing but net.
Oh,
net.
man.
Net.
Oh,
I love it.
that would be sick. Trading back would be a fine option too.
Yeah.
I'm okay with whatever happens as long as we don't give up an immediate player, not named Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Don't
get rid of the core 6.
Don't get rid of your young guys.
Yeah.
And just have fun. Be sure to have fun while you're drafting.
Look at this.
Is all
No
the
pressure.
No pressure. Have fun, guys.
Josh is like like giving like a motivational speech to the war room like right before the draft. Just have fun out there, guys.
Just have fun.
Hey, have fun out there.
That'll be it'll be the best 5 minutes of your life. It'll be the best 5 minutes of somebody else's life. Go in there and draft whoever you think can fit your system. I am so mentally checked out now that we're so close to the draft because the whole playoffs I was like, what are the Rockets going to do? What are the Rockets going to do? And sure, you can get a pro-ready guy like Klingon and insert him immediately into 6th, 7th man rotation, or just if you want to be straight up about it, the backup to Sengun, because I mean, damn it, we kind of need one. So
I don't know how healthy Steven Adams is going to be. Like, I just don't know where he's going to be.
That's kind of what I was getting at too. Was the amount of physical and emotional pressure that Steven Adams is going to have to deal with this season, and entirely going into a new offense, new defense, new team, obviously. Throwing Klingon under the ropes and having Sengun kind of and it's funny, aren't they the same age, right?
They're pretty much.
I think they're pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
So Sengun's gonna be like, hey, I've been here for 3 years. Let me tell you what works with me. And then Steven Adams could talk to him and be like, hey, I've been here for 10. And I played overseas for another 10 in youth as well. So let me tell you what the hell I know. So Klingon could be a great situation if you want someone who is pro ready and you're not. I think Klingon is the biggest risk-free investment in this draft. That is like not gambling.
That's why he's catapulted as the number one.
Exactly.
I definitely want to expand.
Not gambling advice. Not stock advice.
Yeah.
It's like investing into Apple. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you know what you're getting. You know what you're doing. So yeah, if you wanna go that route, Klingon is the best option for us. If you wanna really invest in a guy that you think could really have a crazy upside. We were talking about this pre-show. I thought that Alexander Sarr kind of gives off like a KD Andrew Wiggins hybrid, which is hilarious if that's a top pick in a draft. But I love the idea of another foreign-born player coming here and kind of just learning the ropes with the rest of us. And I think that we're in a great position to where we can afford to do that. And God willing, it all works out. I think that Sarr could be a great option at 3. Klingon could be a great option at 3. Trading up, trading down, anything can happen, obviously. But
what do you think is going to go down? Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. All that just to say, my 1A is Sarr if he falls to 3.
Okay.
My 1B is Klingon if he's at 3. Which is kind of a normal. I feel like a lot of Rockets fans feel that way. I'm not saying anything crazy here. I'm not here to lay out hot takes on people. I'm here to just
nothing
say
bombastic.
how I feel.
Right.
This is real,
just
authentic. We're just talking ball, guys. We're talking
shop.
ball.
You're not here to be Stephen A. Smith.
But those are exactly.
We're not here to be wild.
Give me my 25 M's, by the way. Those are my 1A, 1B. What are your thoughts?
Man, there's a lot that goes on there. You definitely unpacked a lot in terms of the thoughts with Klingon, because I'm not going to disagree with that. Because the thing about Klingon is that he is definitely the biggest risk-free. People don't look at him as a guy that could potentially spread the floor, or he wasn't much of a shooter. We live in a league of where players adapt and learn how to shoot. That's the easiest thing if you have good form, and I don't see an issue with his form either. And also, there's an assistant coach by the name of Ben Sullivan who repairs people's shots. That
God, we have such a good team.
He's a wizard. But then also, as a defender, he is rock solid. And I will say this, even though the Celtics won the title, and Porzingis didn't get much PT, most teams that advanced past the first round had centers that could absorb a ton of gravity on the defensive end and handle it.
Yes.
And that is what you want in terms of advancement towards an NBA championship. And I'm not trying to say that it's a dig at LP, because it's not. It's just saying that the recipe to a title, typically, what we see now in today's league and the way that it's moving, is that bigs have a huge responsibility. And I think that if you were to share that with I'm not saying that he's like Clint Capella, but with the same type of gravity and defending that can be similar,
right?
Then I like the way that we're headed. With all that being said, we're probably not going to take him.
No, but that was great. I
sold
felt a lot. I learned a lot.
Yeah, I know. I was like, we're peaking. Oh, we're not gonna get it. And then the ride just stops before the drop. And we're done.
Well, people have said, like that Rafael Stone traded for Steven Adams for a reason.
Right.
And I mean, I like the way you're saying like the learning aspect of it all. I don't know if Klingen's agent would like that.
So wait, are you telling me if Klingen and Reed are available at 3, they're gonna go Reed over Klingen?
I think
what you're thinking.
Probably go Reed.
Fuck, that is insane.
Oh, actually, no,
that is ballsy.
No, they're gonna trade. They're gonna trade down.
Okay.
If Klingen is available,
or
trade down for Rob Dillingham.
No,
that's what I'm manifesting.
Or they do the trade down, or they do the trade down and they break my heart in the process by getting fucking Rudy Gay and then announcing the trade 10 minutes after. It's like, Rudy Gay's a Rocket. 10 minutes later, Shane Battier is a Rocket. We got both Shane Battier and Rudy Gay. Oh fuck yeah! No, the Rockets are trading their 8th pick for Shane Battier. Fuck! I got excited. I loved Rudy Gay. That could happen.
Yes.
Too.
But I know that Klingen. There's a lot of people that want him. And the Rockets are dangling the pick, and they're looking for more future assets. Not like they don't care about like we stated before, right? Is that we stand pat. We're fine. We're fine where we are. And I think Rafael Stone's thinking is that if an opportunity is presented to where we trade down for a pick that we can invest in, but doesn't have to play immediately, and we also get an additional first next year, which is a deeper draft, he's in. And that's where I think
with the shot of possibly getting a Cooper Flag like on the table. You gotta take you gotta take as much stock possibilities.
I mean, I can see
lottery picks.
I can see a trade down if someone like at 5 or 6 does want Klingen. We trade down and we take like Modest Buzelis. That's
who at one time was the number 1 in most mocks.
And in my mind is still the number 1.
He has the highest variance.
Same with Ron Holland too. Ron Holland was like a top 3 guy too.
Was a guy.
Yeah, Ron Holland was a guy.
So, but I mean, I think that status quo suggests that we go Reed Shepherd if he's there, and we stay there. If Klingen is in the draft by 3, then there's going to be a lot of bidding, and I'll say that for sure. Because you could say that's where the league's going. That's what I stated, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think that if everything goes according to plan, Reed Shepherd's a Rocket. But if Klingen is there at 3, I'm not opposed to taking Klingen. I just don't see it happening. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah, no, I understand. I think for me, I think Rafael Stone has a minimum of what he wants with that pick. You have to hit his threshold. He already knows what he wants. His price is set. He's like, I'm not dipping below this. I'm running with house money right now. Like I'm good. Like I'm good with the draft pick, and that's why I think you may see some fireworks, especially if a player like Klingen or Sarr can possibly drop to 3, where the possibility of these other teams that may want him. Now, with that being said, I think the Rockets need to follow the Celtics model of NBA champions and just build around your youth. And if, you can make trades here and there for like role players, obviously, like veteran role players. Like obviously they got Al Horford at one point, and then was it Derek White?
Yep.
Like you're able to get
Drew Holiday.
You make trades for those players, that's fine. But I want them to take that approach. Give this another year with your core. See if anyone breaks out. See if anyone has that capability of breaking out. And if they do, great. I'm not comparing. You may not. Most likely, you're not going to have a Jason Tatum and a Jaylen Brown. May not out of these 6. It's a very low possibility because those are really, really talented players.
Yeah.
So the chances are pretty low. However, I just want to see another year with this 6 together, possibly with this 6 together. Well, with that being said, I think if Klingen or Sarr are available, that's the trade down could happen. Memphis being a possibility. I know. What is it? Rafael Stone and Ime Udoka fucking love Marcus Smart. So they want the possibility of possibly bringing. I know.
No, in the big 2024, no.
No, not in 20. Yeah, not right now. But obviously, how Udoka feels. There's reports saying that Udoka loves Marcus Smart and loves his game. Right. So of course that's going to play as a factor, obviously. But just an example. But I think overall, I don't think they're going to trade the pick. I think they're going to stand pat. I think they're going to go BPA. I think they should go BPA. I don't think they should. I mean. You can go with fit, Reed Shepherd, easy fit. It'll work out. But the possibility of, man, getting a Sar or Klingon to learn from the already established players that we have that Josh had mentioned prior already, like, it's a little salivating, like, at that point to not make that deal.
Because you can afford to make a project. You can afford to stash a project
you can
for the
afford to
future.
stash a project.
And really briefly, the Celtics youth was 2 people standing left.
Right.
The Rockets youth is 6+.
That's insane.
So,
and not all 6 will still be here by the time we're competing for a championship.
yes,
Right.
that. But it just really freaks me out knowing that some of these guys are going to go away. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it.
We've talked about
our attachment is real.
I
don't want to think about it.
I've already like brought the reality to the table a lot with on the show where I'm like, the 6 will not be here. Like there will be maybe like 3 of them that may still be here. It's gonna cut in half at least. But obviously we'll see what happens, guys. Draft night is obviously coming. It's Wednesday night. We're a few days away. You better believe that we're gonna be doing something in terms of the NBA draft night, whether it's a live stream. We'll be announcing it, obviously, so that's big time. However, there is an event that's happening next month, and next month or next 2 months, which is the Olympics.
Yep, the Summer Olympics is coming up, guys.
Let's have some fun.
Oui, gentlemen.
Wow, that's the only thing that comes to mind with you.
Yeah.
Oui, not Ratatouille. Oh, and haha. Haha. Not Ratatouille.
I couldn't help it, guys.
Yeah.
But yes,
I'm gonna Ric
not
Flair promo your ass in like 2 seconds.
I'm sorry. But a former Houston Rocket will be participating in this year's Olympics by the name of Chase Budinger. Hey, bud, let's party. Shout out to Matt Bullard.
I know. I've been trying to DM you to come on our show, and you haven't responded. You see the messages. Come on the show, Chase. Why are you ducking the smoke?
Wow.
Stop ducking smoke.
Chase isn't ready to reach the
Why are you
summit
smoke
yet.
ducking? I'm
That's
sorry. Go on.
that's a term for sure.
Yeah. Why are you smoke ducking?
Okay.
But, like,
we're gonna make that a
Say
thing.
it enough, and it'll get placed.
Oh
in
yeah,
our
I just got to get it
lexicons.
into the Twitterverse.
Yeah, there you go.
know,
Yeah.
there's once you get it there, it's you're in a
Yeah,
good
you're
spot.
solid.
it'll be
Anyways.
the normal vernacular.
Go on, Jam. We're gonna do
But
something.
what we're gonna
do something
what
fun.
We're gonna do is this, guys. We're gonna play a game. Is Chase Budinger is joining the Olympics in volleyball. Wild, but the thing is that he was a professional volleyball player before he joined the NBA. So my thing is this: if any player were to be in the Summer Olympics, what sport would they be in? I'm gonna name players, and I want to hear what sport that you guys would put them in.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The
Let's go.
first
I wanna see
player,
what
Alperen Sengun. What sport would you put him in?
Basketball.
No, we gotta remove
I'm
basketball from the
joking. I'm
category.
joking, guys.
Damn it.
Put him at the lead, the
Swimming.
lead position of the rowing. Put him at the lead of rowing. We need
Lead
that.
position of
I
rowing.
was thinking about
I
that
did
too.
not-
Either the lead or the caboose. It has to be one or the other. He's not a glue guy. He is the leader.
I don't think he should be the lead. I think you found something with the caboose.
Okay.
I think he should be the caboose. Damn it, he ruined it because I think that's actually a better idea than mine. I had an idea since he's kind of wiry strong, we could maybe put him in shot put.
Oh, I like that. That's
Because
good.
we
That's
all
good.
know he's not the most athletic man in the world.
Because he's got great footwork.
We can't. What is that? We can't. You know, he's not gonna succeed in the long jump. Like we know that for a fact. I was like, so yeah. I had an idea of shot put, but I like the idea of rowing.
Yeah.
That's
Get him back there. He's got long arms. It'll move.
Put him
He'll
as the
go.
caboose.
He's been doing weight training this summer so far. Let the man cook. Let the man
There you go. I like that.
Cooking in
Let
the
them
Olympic
I
kitchen.
thought about rowing
Love
too.
it.
That was definitely in my mind. For
Okay,
him.
well, what did you have?
Rowing.
Oh, you did have.
Oh,
Oh, no, you said you had it in your mind. I just wasn't sure if that
So-
was like
so
your final. All right, go ahead.
The next player, guys.
All right, here we go, here we go.
This is a divisive player amongst Houston.
All right.
Dylan Brooks.
I
What
swear, if you were gonna say
sport
Jabari,
would
I
you
was gonna be
put him?
so pissed. Dylan Brooks, boxing.
That makes sense.
Boxing.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
boxing. I'd have
would
to.
put him
Yeah,
in
that's
boxing.
great. I love that.
Is that a summer Olympic sport?
Yes.
Okay.
I think,
in my
right?
lifetime, it's been
Okay.
for sure.
Right.
I was gonna go winter, but obviously this wouldn't play. Some form of a skier. I feel like he would get like a peace and quiet and happiness, and maybe like it'd be like a retreat for him.
He is from Canada.
Yeah,
I'm telling
there
you right
go.
now,
There you
the
go.
thought of Dylan Brooks skiing.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right
Goosebumps.
here. Dylan Brooks, if you see him pregame, how focused he is. My man is on another level. He would be a gold medalist in archery. He is psychotic enough to be that guy. Dress him up in green.
Really?
He is the Green Arrow. Dylan Brooks, I see you, brother.
Dylan Brooks,
I'm with it.
And y'all ready? Because we're gonna have to buy the rights from WWE. We can just now, because he causes trouble too. We can call him the Archer of Infamy.
Oh no! Put us on the marketing teams, folks. We're there.
Yeah,
we're there.
no.
I love it. Wow.
Okay, so
that was
we have to let's at least come to agreement. We got boxing.
I'd play boxing there. Just obviously, you know.
I think
Just 'cause he
boxing
likes
would
to
be
fight.
the best. Would be most suitable considering.
But I
his,
like the archery one. That's a
he
great
is
idea.
locked in, dude. Like that is really cool.
I could totally just see him.
You could going based off what you said with archery. I know this is a winter thing. What's the thing where they push the
curling.
Man.
curling,
Dude, I could no.
He'd be locked in
I could
for
see him.
that.
Yeah, not even be the one to push it. He's
Yeah.
the guy that just violently. Come on.
That's his energy release.
Stop it.
For sure. I love that.
Okay. We're gonna go with another
great
player
game.
here, just out of curiosity. I want to see what you guys think. Amen Thompson.
Ooh,
That's good.
there was a player that I've been waiting for you to name that I wanted to connect to a certain sport. He was like the number 2 option, so I kind of don't know if I want to say it just yet. I don't want to give it away. Shit, Amen Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we put him? He doesn't have to be individual, right? We can put him on a team of some sort. Rowing was one of them.
Yeah. Throw him in track and field. I feel like.
He
Throw
is
him
an
in track
athletic
and
freak.
field.
You know what? You're right. Long jump or high jump.
Sure.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Put him
I
in
like
the
that.
high
Long
jump.
Yes.
Some form of a track and field event. Maybe
Yes.
long jump or high jump.
What is he? The anchor in the baton race.
I thought you were about to throw the caboose term out again. I was like, oh shit.
I was gonna say caboose, but I was like, no, I can't.
I saw you stutter. I was like, what's he about to say?
No. I was like,
Oh,
anchor.
man.
Anchor is the last part of the.
man.
Okay.
No, I like that.
Yeah. What did you have him as?
Me, I didn't have anything.
Wow.
I'm asking
okay.
you
Oh, this
guys.
is for us.
This is just for us.
Wow.
He laid it
Yeah.
on the table.
Beautiful.
So long. Yeah. Track and field. Something track and field related.
I like
Dude's an
that.
athletic
Wow.
freak.
Man, yeah, it's gotta be that.
He can jump out of the
His
gym.
athleticism.
Oh
is
my
wild.
god! And you even want to go one step further, and of course this is a little just delving away. Throw Giannis in
my
maybe
gosh.
either a track and field situation with those long strides. What does he cover? 3 steps in 50 feet or 40 feet?
Yeah,
Oh,
something like that.
Shit.
Put him in the 40.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be
40-meter
wild.
dash.
That'd
He'll
be
start
wild.
a little slow and he'll just pick up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love that.
Man, that'd be sick.
Okay, I'm gonna say just 2 more players.
Okay.
Okay, please say the name that I'm expecting you to say. Please.
He wants
For
me
my
to
benefit.
say Jabari Smith Jr.
I did not say that.
But let's go with Jabari Smith Jr.
Beautiful.
Oh, fantastic.
Take the floor.
Swimmer.
Okay.
Swimmer.
You know what? Yes, I
He's a
see
swim-
that.
Lanky.
Dude, he's lanky as
Lanky.
hell. He's similar body type to Michael Phelps.
Sure.
Let's be real.
Sure. You got it, man.
That's exactly what I thought. Michael Phelps. Yes,
Swim.
yes.
He's got a
yes.
swimmer.
I like
He's
that.
lo-
I like
a long
that.
torso. He's got a long torso.
You know what I can see him in though? I feel like he's majestic enough to do fencing.
Wow, I did not peg
I
fencing.
like that.
I do like
a
that
lot.
too.
Let me go to Jabari Smith Jr. Just go, on guard, young sir.
Oh my god.
I mean, who wouldn't be about that?
No, and he's long, so that reach
Oh,
is important.
the
So
reach is
sure.
important.
I'll happily
he
piggyback off
puts
that.
a mask
That-
on, will calm.
I like that.
The mask
I like
I
that.
actually
Sora.
do like the fencing
That is
idea.
important. I love that.
I did. Yeah, that's why I had Amen Thompson number 2 as a swimmer. I had Jabari in my head. I was like, okay, swimmer, Jabari, like that's locked in. But fuck fencing, dude. Well, motherfucker
Yeah.
will get gold.
Oh yeah,
easily.
immediately.
But then
1
also-
month of training.
But then, granted, he could also get hit pretty easily too. So
Yeah.
there's a granted.
Well,
there's a lot more
protection.
height.
It's protection. You know,
That's
they got
true.
they
Yeah,
got
protect him. He still gotta-
the bee-esque, the beekeeper-esque suits they got going on.
There
That's
you
what I'm
go.
saying. We got to
Yeah.
protect the body because he still has to play in the 2024-2025 season.
This is
So
right.
let's-
This is true.
We got to think long term.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Okay. I'm saying one more guy, of course. One of my favorite players, Jalen Green. What would we think Jalen Green would be in?
Okay, let's try our best to name a sport that is.
I have a sport that I think that he would succeed in just based on his style alone.
What is it that's?
But I don't know if you guys know this.
What's
is an
that
Olympic
thing where
sport.
they ran with that big pogo stick?
Oh, I've thought about that.
And then they do that.
yeah,
They plant and
yeah.
then what is that called?
I don't remember what that sport's called, but it's definitely one of the
can
track
someone
and
drop
field
a Google
sports.
real quick? Yeah, you plant the flag and then you plant the pole and you pole jump.
Pole
Yes.
vault.
Pole vault.
There you go.
Motherfucker
Pole vault.
would be a pole vaulting machine.
Oh my god, I love that.
Could you imagine?
No, I see that.
Dude could be a pole, and he'll use like his athleticism already out of the gate to give himself like an extra like foot of air.
Imagine that. Yeah, you know, Jalen could definitely be majestic, especially when he grows out his hair again.
Yeah.
The hair just going.
I was gonna say baseball strictly because like the curly hair. Like imagine him being in left field. Like I just feel like that fits perfectly for him.
I could see that.
Yeah.
He's athletic as hell, and he's
Yeah.
like,
I could totally see that.
and he is majestic.
Like a Deion Sanders type baseball player. I feel like that'd be sick.
I can see that.
Oh yes,
Wow.
yes, with all the chains.
Oh man,
What a call. What a drop
would
call.
rock,
Prime time,
dude.
Jalen.
Could
I'm
you
with it.
dude, I seen Jalen on a baseball field would give me so much drop shock. I'd just be like, holy fuck, that's Jalen.
He's so eclectic. Like
Yeah.
every good outfielder has to have something
Yeah.
weird about their
You know what?
personality.
Jalen Green is eclectic enough to be a fencer.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
But
Like-
also, I think
like-
just based on who he looks like, I think he'd be in skateboarding.
Oh, okay.
I think he'd take it one step further. I think he'd be doing inline skating.
Oh, I like
think,
it.
I think he'd just be like, he'd be the
Touche.
guy. He'd be like, he's interviewed
I love
interviewed
it.
right before. What are you about to do? I'm about to do something crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then he jumps up. What were you thinking when you did that 900? Oh man, I was just thinking.
This is
he's just-
some casual.
yeah,
some
yeah. He
slight.
was just like, I was just thinking about
God.
getting up there. Yeet. It's just
Isn't that
like just something.
God, that's lovely.
Wow.
But I mean, everyone, I know that you guys are enjoying this, but on our comments, please put a player and what you guys think of what sport they'd be in the Olympics. We'd love to hear it. I
And
would love
don't
to hear your
cheat.
opinions.
Not USA basketball.
Yeah, guys, come on. Not even
Exactly.
3-on-3 either. No.
Yeah, not threes. Oh yeah, that's a thing too, right?
Yeah.
Threes.
Yeah.
The USA
awesome.
women's team is gonna just kill it.
Oh,
this
they're
year.
gonna destroy
that 3-on-3 team. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm so seated for that.
Oh, that's gonna rock.
We
Can't
should
wait.
do a watch along with one of those.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
actually, USA basketball. You know what? Let's table that thought. I think we should do
Yeah.
a watch along on
Great.
streaming. So maybe we'll get
Two birds, one stone.
you
Ideas
go.
out on the pod right
There
now.
you
ideas
go.
out literally on the
Yeah.
pod. You're getting the thinking process like right now live.
Love
Pretty
it.
incredible stuff. Boys, let's get ready to go home here. Fun game. What a way to end the episode. We haven't done games in a minute, so it's actually pretty cool that we got to get that one in. So, once again, I appreciate Josh for coming on our show. We have nicknames for everybody, by the way. We got to come up with a nickname for Josh. We got the big dog as DJ, got the GMs Justin, I'm the commish. We got to give one for Josh.
We don't have to do it on air.
Ah.
Or we could. Or we
We did come up with DJ's live on air.
Yeah, we'll come up with one.
We'll cut- yeah,
Eventually.
come up with
I'll
it.
be
We'll-
back.
Josh
we
will come
have
up to the
time.
next episode, and then I'll introduce it, and we'll drop a bomb.
There
in
it
the
is.
process.
There
That'll
it
be
is. You have plenty of time.
Yeah. Josh's like, please don't come up with
Not
this
right now,
live.
please, please. My dignity, please.
All right, let's go ahead and get ready to go home here. Josh, once again, thank you so much for coming on
guys.
our show. Once again, be sure to check him out on Zero Gravity, the official NBA podcast for Apollo.
That's right.
All available on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. GM, once again, give him the go home cue one time.
All right, guys. Make sure to follow us over on Twitter, X, whatever you do, at Summit, SOMPOD. Follow us on Instagram at Summit State of Mind _POD. And make sure to follow our people, our brothers, our family over at Apollo NBA and at Apollo HOU. And yeah, guys, just, we're ready for this draft and feeling very excited. Oh, and follow me at JP_Mirabueno on Twitter. My bad. Almost forgot about that.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Whoops.
Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me on not only the Zero Gravity podcast, you can find me at Josh Garcia 64 on Twitter, at Where's My Foul on Instagram. You like the
I love the ad.
the basketball? Yeah, you like the basketball pull?
Where's
There
my
you go. Where's My Foul
I love
on
it.
Instagram with the S at the end of where. Yeah,
Oh.
thank you guys for having me. I loved it. This was sick, man.
That's
I've
why we're having
been
you back.
dreaming of this, man. I'm here.
I know,
We did
no,
it.
we're
We
back.
killed it.
Yeah, we did. We killed it. And you're definitely be coming back for a future episode because, well, one, we got to get your thoughts on post draft, and I got to get that nickname locked in.
Oh yeah.
For my personal benefit.
True.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Summit Commish. Shouts to our Apollo podcast brethren that continue to kill the game. That's right. We're talking about the pinnacle of Astros podcast, even though they're kind of right now. Be sure to listen to Beyond the Diamond, the Crown Jewel of Astros podcast. Shout outs once again to Apollo Texans off the gridiron. Their preseason's actually going to start in about less than 2 months. So be sure to give them your first listen for all Texans content. We'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for making us your first listen for all Houston Rockets content. Let's get ready to go home here on another successful edition of Summit State of Mind. Draft is coming up. Lots of fireworks I'm expecting to go down. This should be a very, very, very fun time leading up from the draft going into free agency. A lot of moves I expect to be made. So once again, we're going to get ready to go home here. As I always say at the end of every episode with a Go Summit, Go Apollo. And Rockets, like what Josh said, just have fun out there.
That's right.
Just have fun.
Just have fun out there, guys.
Keep 2 feet on the ground and just enjoy it.
You woke up today.
Yeah, you woke up today. 5 minutes, you're not going to just change your lives, but you're going to change the life of another NBA player. So
Best 5 minutes of your life, folks.
Yeah, go Rockets. DJ's usually the one that go home here with a yeet, but do you want to go home with a yeet?
Yeet.
Yeet.
There it is. There it is.